in front of you guys so you don't screw up. Testing.
Text coming in the mail.
Nice. Okay, I get that. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian. I'm a Pisces, and
Walks on the beach by the sunset.
no, I keep the walk short because it's what after the walk is what I'll get to. Yeah, that's me, and I want to hear more about you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Stephanie Boothby again, in case you forgot. Last 2 minutes. I'm at the University of Florida up in Gainesville. I joined Florida Paranormal Investigations about 2.5 years ago, and a few months later started in the PhD program for anthropology, which is the study of peoples and cultures. And my interest was how these unique groups of people come together to study something that in typical day-to-day life is so taboo or strange to talk about, and yet it's an entire lifestyle for so many people and makes such a difference in so many people's lives, whether it's negative or positive. And to me, this is something worth studying from this perspective, from anthropology, to understand how this is a subculture. This isn't just some, weekend hobby that people do. This is an entire culture of people who engage in this. It's a community.
I feel like this is going to be like American Idol, but without Paul Bradford here shooting down things in a British accent. I'll be the same. And take it away, evidence people. What do we got first?
Do you want to present yours first? Or no? What?
Which one? It's the help me.
Yes.
All right.
Want to do that one?
Okay. This evidence was taken back in 2007. The old man, or what we call him, John Zaffis, sent my team in to investigate in Vinodasasa, Florida. It was considered a demonic case. The woman was actually conducting EVPs and investigations in her own home. Within a span of 3.5 years, she had literally collected over 500 EVPs. In the meantime, she opened up what I call a doorway, or a lot of us call a doorway. And what you're going to hear is Angel. He's one of the mediums that I work with. And he's describing a child that is leading him by his hand. And just as he's talking to the child to calm the child down, you'll hear a little voice of a little child. And here's EVP.
Okay, we're doing those stairs now. You want to stop? You gotta get this wall. You gotta grab on this one if you don't want me to go.
Put it up a little more.
Turn it up a little bit.
Okay, we're doing those stairs now. You want to stop? You gotta get this wall. You gotta grab on this one if you don't want me to go.
One more time.
Okay, we're doing those stairs now. You want to stop? You gotta get this wall. You gotta grab on this one if you don't want me to go.
As you can hear for yourselves, he's literally being led around the house by a little child. And I'm sure most of you heard, "Help me," not in the deep baritone voice that I have, but in a little boy voice. And needless to say, this was not cleaned up, not filtered. This is class A.
Today, I feel like the luckiest man in the world.
God is here. Alright, that's better. So basically, yeah, there was no cleanup, no nothing. This is raw footage as it was captured, and that's what we consider EVPs. I had to say like Dr. Evil, EVPs.
Space CBP. From space.
So needless to say, that's the evidence that we captured. It was the best one we got in that one particular investigation. And we were able to help the family out, but unfortunately the client, you know, ended up asking for the big bad coming back. So long story short, that's it. Raw evidence. Have at it. And be God.
Yes.
There be evidence. Actually, well, you know, Rich just explained it. How many of you guys heard it?
Whoa. By the way, sorry to interrupt. There was no child in the house. Just to verify that. It was just the client. She had sent her husband and the kids away to a hotel. We had full run of the place. So before you start jumping to conclusions, maybe it was one of the kids. No kids were there.
I don't need this.
You just have to speak like right into it.
Well, so show of hands. How many of you guys? Oh, I'm still echoing. Extreme.
Keno wins. All right, so how many of you guys heard it, show of hands? Now, obviously, you guys all know what evidence review. Typically, we won't say this is what we hear.
Exposed. Usually not a yes. So, now here's the thing. I'm still at one. I'm sitting in a really good spot. Did you guys all hear what Rich said? What? Those things are not that bad. This is what I hear it. They want to do something different.
Maestro,
Can you isolate it?
just isolate that place and play in a loop if you can.
For it, I'm
I was going to say. Yeah. Alrighty. That's me too. Now, guys, this is an important point. Now, guys, this is an important point. Unity is not exactly, it's not democracy. But we could all agree that it says maybe, or something. But just because the majority rules, she might be right. And you know, again, it's impossible to say what it is, but you know, that's the challenge of the world.
So when it comes down to his perception, what he
I would
felt.
say our EVP specialist uses headphones. So when we're reviewing evidence, we're not turning speakers or going to the front of the room. We're putting the headphones on.
That's true, and that's important. Yet still, I might hear something different than you do.
Right, but I'm saying because of, you know, to turn on the waves, that's how we listen to it. So for this particular one, we're all like, no, you listen to it. So all of us put our headphones in.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, what did we hear? Oh, we unanimously decided that that's what we heard. You know what I mean?
Brad?
Okay, so, this is John, right?
Huh?
This is John. Who's walking? Who's doing the walking?
Oh, Angel.
Thank you, okay. And are they on the road?
Yes, actually, yes.
Shit. I was going down the path if there was a second person, they made a noise, or they did something, they were yeah, audio tag. You know, noise, you have enough to it.
So mind you, we use this as, I'm afraid these are my actually does that's right.
Yeah, she put the echo on.
Echo. Okay, the one thing that I can only give this evidence any credence is the fact that he was, I wish we had more of the recording before that. He was verifying as a medium, there was a child leading him around the house by the hand, like by these two fingers. Okay? And then all of a sudden you hear a child's voice. That's not a woman's voice or whatever. He said 6 years old, give or take. Now, he said that he felt distressed, but he felt lost. So I can only give his side of the story because he's not here. He was being told that he was lost and scared. He was trapped. But of course, this lady was, you know, running EVPs 24/7 in her house, so it was bound to happen. So we have to deduct the fact that, okay, you know what, maybe there was a spirit of a child that got trapped here, and he's scared and sees the medium, and I'm sure whatever mediums may be in the audience, spirits are attracted to mediums because they're like beacons of light within the spirit world. So he was walking around with him. I honestly feel it's helped me, but of course I'm open to all perceptions and different opinions. It's all up to you.
I also feel like some of us do it, not all of us do, whether it's a DVR, static cam, or sometimes we're walking off the cam, while these things are happening. If you have video footage of it, and this is in question, and again, no matter who puts this forward, no matter what level of trust you have, you're still stuck with, I wasn't there. I can't verify that there was no one else there. I can't verify that no one was walking by the door. But if there's video, you can at least see, oh yeah, in the room, there is only one person there. And if the noise happened, did that person respond in real time? As a noise that they maybe just forgot to tag. So video is also important when it comes to things like this, but I still feel this is pretty clear.
Yeah, I definitely think this is a great thing because it is so clear. You can tell it's a voice saying something. It's not something that might be either fabric rustling or other noise. Like you said, like having a camera, I think it's also great to have two voice recorders in the same room. One so you can see if it's picked up on both or just one, and two so you can maybe tell the direction that it's coming from. Was it closer to one person or another person? The other thing, when I first heard it, I thought it was saying not me. I never got the me part. The first one just kind of was too quick, but the reason I thought it was maybe not me was the way the me was stressed versus if someone was saying help me, they really emphasized the help part. So you would more like help me, and then they would be, it wouldn't be the information part there. But I think it is, that first word is still kind of up in the air. But I think this is a very good piece of it.
If I may add something else. Since then, we've learned our lesson, and this is very, very important, especially in the paranormal field. This was back in 2007. Not too long ago, but still long enough. About a year later, I started realizing, because we never left reporters running in any location, because you can't account for whatever noise may have taken place while you weren't there. For example, AC turning on, and there's a refrigerator nearby or anything like that. If you don't account for it and timestamp it, you can mistake it for anything. So I started walking around with our mediums around 2009 with a video camera, verifying everything instead, and taking away the voice recorder, mind you, and just documenting what they were sensing, and then comparing notes with what we got in research, and then later on evidence to verify. So we've refined our investigative style to actually best suit how we do things. So let this be a lesson. We're always evolving, especially when it comes to this field. You have to, or else you'll be left in the dust, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
All right, so we have another piece.
That's it. Good night, guys. See you in the pool. Bye. Nightside Journal. And
it's a
Jenny.
Jenny.
Allie, I'm not echoing. Okay, I personally did not take this photo, and this photo was not taken on an investigation. It's taken at the hospital from, all right, how do I set this up? What you're looking at is a monitor camera, and
Photo of monitor.
the photo of a monitor. The nurse is sitting in front of it. She's on our team.
Can you walk up and tell us where the nurse is sitting?
The nurse is not in this room.
Okay.
She is out in the other room because it's ICU.
Okay.
So the monitor, she's actually viewing the monitor. So she's in a different part of the hospital.
Yay. Yeah, hi, Zach. Can I chase it? I'm gonna chase it.
Well, it looks a little bit different on this big screen as well. But, okay, so this patient is in the ICU. She's very ill. The reason the cameras are on is because she's in the ICU. So if you can see here, this is, oh yeah, I have a pointer. Right in here, this is the bed. and you can see her in the bed.
Well, you're very attention.
Can you show us the details of like face and arms and strength on her side?
She's curled up in bed. She's curled up in bed. Really, this is hard to see on a bigger screen. So the nurse is sitting looking at the monitor, not in the room, and she sees a figure at the edge of the bed moving around. So she says to the other nurse, "Who's the man in room number such and such?" So the other nurse goes in there and goes, "There's nobody in here." And she's waving her hands and she's like, "Right in front of you, the man." Well, apparently the other nurse does not see what is being seen through the monitor. So if you look on this side, there's a clear picture of a person here. Now, I can't really see it on the big screen, but if you look at the smaller photo, there looks like there's a person here as well. So the other nurse that's in there moves around all the IVs and other equipment that they have in the hospital, just to make sure it's not a light reflection or anything like that. I don't know. I thought it was a good piece of evidence. I said, let's show it. So there it is.
Next morning, the patient died.
Yes. Next morning, the patient died.
Like a couple hours later.
Hey, way to be morbid about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I think the first thing I want to comment about this is
Can I add also, the nurse who was watching this, the shadow person was moving around on the monitor.
so this is a still of that
This is
feed.
a photo with your camera of the monitor that has 10 different videos.
That's why you see that line in the middle. That's another monitor on the other side.
It's viewing 10 different patient rooms at one time, and she took a photo of the monitor with herself.
Was there any other pictures in the progression, or this is the only
That's
one?
the only photo.
Well, before I get to the concept of this, which once we saw it, I was like, oh, hey, look, it's on Hitchcock. This looks pretty cool. I don't know if this is, and I mean, this is a better room to talk about this, but online on Facebook a couple of months ago, there was a thread, a conversation that seemed to light a fire under some people. I had a very strong feeling about it. You guys notice this is open in Photoshop. I think Photoshop is a great tool for analyzing photos. A lot of people are like, oh, if you had Photoshop, you fake things. It's like, no. While we were sitting here, why don't you just play? This guy was mixing levels to make things easier to see. You know, again, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this, but I think if you have Photoshop, you just check spectral levels, check everything you can to get as much information out of your picture as possible, and you'll get great things like this. So, I guess it's up to you.
If you're going to use Photoshop, use a copy. The copy the file, and then use the copy to manipulate. Translate the original. Because the last thing we'll do is accidentally save it, and then lose the original. So always, yeah, Photoshop's shit, it's great. The copy the file first, and then so use a copy to do the manipulation. Yeah.
Hey, Paul,
Go.
come down.
Oh, shit.
Come on. Give a hand to Paul. Come on, everyone.
More panel members, this is uncanny.
Hey, guys.
The nurse were able to send you like a photo in the daytime of the room, just the layout of the room?
The nurse can probably answer your question if you want her to.
Oh, nurse.
Sorry, yeah.
What was the question? Like, I didn't take another picture of the room. Like, the thing between the shadow of the man and the bed, that's like a laundry basket for dirty linen. When I first noticed it, I had gone those monitors. I had gone to the back and I was showing them the person the monitors, and the shadow was at the foot of the bed, so you could see because the camera's at the top of the now. So you can see just basically the shoulders and the head. And then, I told the nurse, who sat down, we need to get in there and see, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And the shadow went around to the side over there. And there's, where he's standing is, there's a counter with a sink behind him, and then the door, so you can't back up any further. And then we went in there. Now the bright light on the end over there up in the top, that's the monitor room where you see the heartbeat and the blood pressure and everything like that. So I did send a nurse in, and she was waving in front of the cameras. She was moving around the IV poles, which were on the other side of the bed. You can see where it's kind of tall there. That's where the IV is. And basically the patient was on comfortable measure only, so there wasn't any tubes and everything hooked up. And since they were there, I'm like, I took a picture with my cell phone really quick. I didn't take a recording because I really shouldn't do that thing. So I asked my manager, like, you can't tell who the patient is, no room numbers or anything. Can I save this picture? So, and then it's like on a loop, so it's like every 24 hours it just keeps going and going, So there is no video saved, it's just what I took on my cell phone.
Okay. Just because it's interesting, to think about like what is this reflective surface?
Oh, now see all the lines there, like that? There are on the windows, right where the camera is looking down. Those are all windows, and they're blinds that are closed. So that's a reflection from the screen, the monitor screen, on those blinds, and that's why you see all those lines there, because the blinds are closed. So the only thing you're seeing is what the camera in the room is looking down.
All right. Or do you want to comment? I guess. Great. Definitely one of the most interesting pictures I've seen in a while. And we always hear about the stories from hospitals, right? And you would think that sometimes they would capture something like this.
That's a question. What floor was this on?
It was nice and floor on Friday.
First, second.
Oh, third floor.
Okay, so there's nothing on the outside.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, thank you very much for that piece of evidence. It's
I
awesome.
have a question actually, because did you get feedback from the family? Because we've had family members tell us before they passed that they've seen their spouses. So, since my father was in ICU for a week, we became close with the nurses. We would tell them, did you get feedback from the family?
No, not at all, because there was actually no family that came in to see this patient. We get a lot of homeless people and very elderly, and that's why I said there was not really anybody in the room, because there was no family.
I have a question about the patient, actually. But, without going into obviously too much detail, are you aware of their condition?
Yes.
Was it anything somewhat dementia or?
They were very contracted. They just had like some heart problems.
So it wasn't anything
just an
mental?
elderly patient that was time to go. It's just time to end.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Very good piece of evidence. All right. What's our next one, Graham?
Gold Coast Paranormal has some audio for us.
So this would also be an example, this is quick example, this could be a good example of what may be a crisis operation, which were one of the first phenomena to start being studied by Charles Ford and some of the first people starting to research where either people would see apparitions of someone either about to pass away. It kind of varied on who it was experiencing them, but it would be at night at the bedside and they would see an apparition. So it's very cool that you caught something like this on camera and photograph.
Just a real quick thing. If there's anyone from Brooklyn here,
yes,
Ed Yeah, Ed said that he had evidence for me, but then disappeared, so I wasn't sure.
You want to get some punch? It hasn't come back.
Well, you're my main contact. You're part of the team. You're here, so if you got to know, we're waiting for him. Or anyway,
All right. This piece of evidence was captured just a couple weeks ago. The client's claims were a full apparition she had spotted in her kitchen of her grandfather. So we had gathered around the living room. The clients weren't in the house. They had left to go out to dinner. So the only persons in the room were myself, Carrie, and David, and another team member that isn't here, Diane. And so we're gathered around in the living room, and this is with PSV7. It's running in the background. It's in a Faraday cage. So you can play with. Okay, we're looking for Bill. Hi. Hi. Hi, who are you?
Bill?
Bill, thank you. Now, we heard Bill, and Bill was the name of the grandfather. That was it.
Yes.
Really loud.
My first question, excuse me, can I ask a question?
no. I'm going to go ahead and play it one more time so we hear it again.
Okay, we're looking for Bill. Hi. Hi. Hi, who are you?
Bill?
Bill, thank you.
Well, let me ask you a question, Mike. Right after you say, Bill, here's his was that one of you guys, or was that also?
No.
Okay.
Could you run the whole thing again? I'm really sorry. Could you just run the whole thing again?
Sorry, anything for you, buddy.
I'm not doing it for you.
Okay, we're looking for Bill. Hi. Hi. Hi, who are you?
Bill?
Bill, thank you.
But my question is,
Yeah.
the question that I have is, when you say Bill, you said, I heard you use Bill. Like, did you hear it with your, did you hear it also
Yes.
recorded? Do you actually record it with your own ears?
Yes.
Yes.
Play it out.
With your own ears. Because when you heard it,
Oh, no, right.
you know what I'm saying?
You know,
That's why I said it was a
so you all know what the SB7 is, right? The frequency scanner. It's a radio scanner that essentially doesn't stop on. It's like your car radio. If you're looking for a radio station, this one doesn't stop. And you know why you use a Faraday cage, right? It prevents radio signal. It helps prevent radio signal. It doesn't completely filter them. But so what we're looking at here is something that's come through on a radio signal. So this whole different voice thing. So I mean, it's two very different voices that we're hearing. We hear a hi, and it's Bill. Or does it say it? I'm Bill.
I'm Bill. No, that's not us.
No, you say hi afterwards.
So we heard the hi.
Hi.
Yeah, we're getting like 3 different people or whatever, and it says hi, so we respond to the hi. We say hi, and that's why I said hi, who are you? And then we get the
And there's a
Bill.
David in the room, right?
David.
David.
And
so-
Hi, David. No.
So the subject of your.
Say it's Bill.
Okay, Bill.
Was
That was you.
Bill. Yeah.
You never talked.
I just say he didn't say anything at this point. He's a fellow of it.
He's in the other side of the room.
There's a gentleman in the room, and I didn't hear a damn thing except that. Hi, Bill. But yeah, I mean, it says Bill. I mean, you're looking for a Bill, and it said Bill. I heard Bill. You heard Bill. But yeah, so it's not an EVP. It's that would be ITC. I mean, that's actually a communications group. Yes.
Great. How come is it that you actually hear the voice and it's not an EVP, you actually hear the voice?
Well, there's different. An EVP is an imprint on the recording. An EVP is based on the fact that you don't hear it during the investigation. What you hear during the investigation, if you hear a voice during the investigation, then that's disembodied voice. Because that's something you actually hear there and now. And you hear an imprint on the recording. So you don't hear that until after the investigation or until you review the evidence.
After that, my question was, how often you hear the disembodied voice as opposed to the
Oh, good. It's like how often are you going to get a photo? That's just, yeah, the more you experiment, the more potential capture. It's all trial and error. A lot of it comes down to luck. This is how this black voice.
No, this is through. This is through a. This is this is through a device. This is something else.
It's also referred to as real time.
Well,
because
the
it's
investigator
like
on the scene heard the voice.
Yes.
right,
Through a device.
through a device. And this phenomenon is just not isolated to this one particular device. This has also happened. This happened to me many years ago in 2004 through a two-way radio.
So they can hear the voice.
No, they heard the voice.
Speakers.
They heard the voice. And,
Yeah, this was hooked up for
in real time. But what I found fascinating about it is that when you hear it say hi, it's a different voice. And Bill is Bill, lower voice. So you kind of have to question whether it's two different entities coming through, that one said hi and the other one had a chance to say
I
Bill.
felt like the hi was a different
Right.
person totally altogether. That's why I said,
Exactly.
hi, who are you?
But you know, you got verification that it was someone that had passed away.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, so right
And she
there.
had just seen him, her claim was just, I think, a few days before. That's when she called us. She was a former client, called us back.
Awesome.
So,
That was a great catch, by the way.
Do me a favor, can you pull up the spectral waveform on this? All right, see where it says O2.kbn? Click that arrow down. Yeah, click that right there. Yes. Okay, go down to the spectrogram, that one. Okay, this shows you the spectral frequency. Now, I think you can hit, go click this. I want to see the whole recording. Okay, this is also useful to check, especially when you have different voices, to see exactly, all right, you know, we're hearing it, it sounds like different voices. This will show you in the spectral pattern how much energy and what frequencies it's tied to. So let's play it again and look at the peaks and valleys and the colors. I mean, this is a little truncated, but
okay, we're looking for Bill. Hi. Hi. Hi, who are you?
Bill?
Bill, thank you.
You know, you can see like this first one, that high, and if you get that high, you can isolate this and expand it, and then go take a look at this. You'll see the difference. You know, it seems to be capped here, whereas this one has so much more to it. Yes, I zoom in on question. Thank you, Al.
Hi.
See down there, there's a spike.
Hi.
This is all the energy that it has. This is all the spectral pattern it has. And you go to the other one. Go to this side.
Bill?
Wasn't there something at the very beginning? Was there another from the very beginning? Yeah, there was like something even before the high.
Yeah.
There was something.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
What you're still going to get when you, I'm going to say leave it. Probably shouldn't. Yeah, no, she's so colorful. So you are going to get some sort of interference. I mean, you are radio areas. You are going to get the Faraday cage is great, and it does prevent certain, a large amount of your notice that you do get less jarring.
Typically, when the radio comes through, because it's scanning through each station completely, you can adjust how quickly it's scanning, but you can kind of tell if or it, like it's can't do so quickly, it doesn't sound like a whole word or a whole sentence. So even though this is a one-syllable word, it's drawn out just a little bit. You can clearly hear, you know, it's spelling out the word bill. It's very pronounced. So I think that's what makes it very unique in this case and very convincing because it's not something quick like that.
As I was saying, yay!
Yeah. You know, which most of the time, I've had kind of hit and miss experiences with the spirit boxes where if it's kind of like a quick one-syllable word, I tend to not even pay attention because it could just be the radio coming through or so quick that you can't. It's so ambiguous in that interpretation, but this one was really good.
It's probably the only time I've ever actually thought, oh, that's spirit box. I hate spirit box.
I know.
I'm not a big fan. I think
I'm not shy about that.
I think it's a great tool for experimentation. I think there is potential to it, and I think that there's a lot of these types. Have a mic. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think these are experimental tools. I'm still never going. Well, never.
But see, my problem with that is this is all experimental.
Absolutely.
And you know, my end, this is all experimental.
Would you say this is evidence?
For me, to the client, it would be a great find.
It's a find.
For the,
this is evidence.
Just to help the, just to validate the client's experience that she saw him. You know.
This is my point. I mean, I'm not trying to.
No, well, I know it validates. Yeah, I understand.
We're using an experimental tool here with something that stands radio, which potentially is open to a lot of manipulation from an outside source.
Yes.
I.e., radio.
This one was pretty good.
It's very good. But yeah, you're listening to Bill on 105.8, and you just happen to hear Bill. I'm not saying it isn't good, because it is good. It happens to tie very much into your questioning, which makes it a little bit more valid. But like I was saying before, this, in my opinion, is probably the first time I thought, to a spirit box.
You guys who are sitting in my top.
We haven't done a reveal yet for the client. This is just a couple weeks ago, so we haven't finished everything. If this is his voice.
John, I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question. Speaking of spirit box, and you know, Paul brings up earlier good points about, you know, is it validation, is it evidence? Do you use code words with your?
No, and we really liked what you said during your presentation. We said we have to do that from now on because we didn't think about that. But that's an excellent idea.
Okay, well, yeah, because that's one thing too that if the code word came out and then Bill started talking to you, hey, all right, well, this is something intelligent rather than just crafting a story based on.
Yeah, but we're going to do that. Yeah, it's an excellent idea.
Yeah, that's good. It's cool.
I have a question. Was there any other correlating? Was there any other correlating the time temperature changes, EMF, anything else that took place? Because that would actually help strengthen the case.
Okay, there was, but it was way before we captured this, so I don't have it on this file.
Right, but during that time.
Oh, were there changes? No, we didn't notice any. We didn't notice any.
I was going to ask, did it sound like Bill? Because you said that they weren't there.
They weren't there.
Okay, so then that's the question you should be asking when you do the review. Does it sound like Bill? And then that can be verification.
Yeah. No, it's just 2 weeks ago.
Would you?
Oh, yes, we would. Yes.
But what I would suggest is not to lead them to believe it's Bill. Ask them, who do you think this is? Say what you hear. What do you hear? Because if you're leading them to believe that it is their
family member that's
passed on, then you're giving them false hope. Now, if it sounds like Bill, and it's like, holy crap, that's what, their father or?
The client's grandfather.
Okay, grandfather. That sounds like my granddad. Then that's verification right there. So just let them tell you what they hear. You know.
And do me a favor, just explain what the SP7 does and what it is, so that they can understand. So
Oh,
with
yeah,
a
yes, we always do that.
Yeah, just with a rational mind saying, look, this happened, it could be built from 105.8, whatever. But we did this, and we did this. Yeah, you decide. And if it, ultimately, if she's really happy about it, screw it. Let her alone.
It could be the placebo effect.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
There's actually a story that type of device was developed originally by again I remember a story from Patrick Burns, who I think knows one of the guys. Yeah, I know. But it wasn't about what Patrick thought or what he did. He was actually at a convention with the guy who built it out of really as a joke.
Yeah, no, it was actually to talk to aliens.
Right, or something, but the guy was just kind of, yes.
Yeah.
And somebody, according to Patrick, and Patrick's a new fellow in this, and he said at a convention they were sitting there, and this lady, they were signing books and things, and he was sitting right next to her, and this lady in a professional pantsuit was walking up and said, I'm not here to get books or sign anything, I just want you to let you know I work for a DoD contractor, and you don't realize how close you are understanding something that you don't quite grasp yet. And she just walked away. And
I do that speech too.
Yeah. But anyway, that was the story. And he in a light side, it is kind of random.
I also whispered to their ear.
Speaking of aliens and little green men, I've got a piece of evidence to share with you guys. Yeah, maybe not.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's like real UFO.
A real unidentified.
Bring it.
So, Graham, if you could. If?
Is your audio?
No, no audio. This is fully public. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Agua Dia, Puerto Rico. Give you a little bit of background before they start playing it, if you could expand it a little bit. This was captured by Homeland Security, the Border Patrol agents in Puerto Rico, Agua Dia. They've had a few run-ins with some unknowns flying over an airport in the northwest portion of the island. We worked on this case. There's a lot to be released in about August. There's a big report that's going to be released. It's about 160 pages, and a physicist, a few mathematicians, a researcher, myself worked on it for about a year, talking with witnesses or associates of witnesses and kind of nailing down the facts of the case, including FOIA requests, radar data requests, things like that, and we got it all. Anyway, this is a thermal image, camera thermal image from a undermounted camera, basically under a dual prop customized aircraft for Border Patrol. Basically, they chase boats with these airplanes. They look for things in the water. But as they were taking off from this airport back in April 2013, they spotted a very brilliant pink light off to their left, which would be basically over the northern portion of the island coming towards them over the land. And they kind of figured it was coming towards them because as they were moving, it was coming over the land. And what they kind of saw visually was that as it came closer, it was a really short period of time, it turned the light off. And then he had his technician activate the thermal image. And I'll kind of do a little run-by-play as it goes. So go ahead and just play it. You can expand it, please. It doesn't do full screen?
No, it's the video itself is small.
Okay, that's okay. You can see it. You have the pointer? So right now it's going over the airport, busy airport up at Agua Dia. It's actually a civilian airport and mixture law enforcement, military. So it's used by everybody. Busy airport. It captures, what's the button that works? So as you can see, it has a little tumble to it. The darker colors are warm colors. There is pertinent information like date, time, location of aircraft that they're flying, location of where their target is pointed, not the object, but where this line of sight is pointed, hitting the ground behind them. Okay. This is, and you can see a ghosting of the target around the object. You see it?
Yeah.
Yep. So there is some kind of systems. We're still trying to get experts to kind of look at this as far as how that system works and why the ghosting is there and what we're looking at.
Well, there's ghosting around other things as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's odd that there's a crosshair around the object. That's why. Ghosting, yes, is one thing, but crosshairs, and it's following the object just to slope straight. So as this object is tumbling, at first we're thinking balloon. I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, We actually did frame-by-frame analysis and find that it goes right underneath that telephone pole. It was actually behind it. It actually goes behind a few of the trees here, treetops, which are hard to see because it's all green foliage and it's absorbent, so you don't really see the heat. So it actually goes behind a few of the items as it's traveling. As it gets closer to the water, this is where the video characteristics completely change, and where our physicists and several researchers, military pilots, everybody that we've talked to are completely confused. It stops tumbling. It's not wobbling or doing anything. It's upright, or whatever you want to call it. It actually goes into the water without interaction. It comes out a little bit. You're going to see some distortion in the water in a little bit as it comes out. He still sees it, and then he kind of zooms out, so you can see it hitting the waves. It kind of disappears into the next wave, and then the next one, the next one. When it hit the water at first, it was near 100 miles per hour. It then split, and if you look back here, there was that distortion of the waters. It split into two objects that we believe. We're not sure. We're pretty sure that this is not a duplication reflection because it's moving off in different directions. And this is on a camera mount system. Again, we need an IR expert in this specific system. But this isn't the only time that these people have chased these things. So this is not like a one-time event. It then disappears completely into the water heading west, the other one heading northwest.
Well, I'm not going to say it's aliens.
Well, yeah, neither are we.
It's aliens.
And as you see right here, we actually have data on that aircraft. It was actually delayed for the amount of time that that object was over the airport. So the tower was aware of the situation, saw the object visually, stopped traffic while these guys chased it down.
Wow.
So next time you get delayed at the airport.
Yes, the calculation so far to date has been no more than 4. I should say not circumference, but like a radius of 2, so it's about 4 feet. Not a very big object. And you can replay it as we talk. About from the middle. Hello. But anyway, so that's the piece of evidence. Anybody have comments, or anybody in the audience have comments or questions?
There's another instances, and I don't mean here, because you said this has happened before.
Right. Only through testimony, but we haven't seen the evidence.
Where unexplained objects disappear into the water.
Yes.
This is a
common occurrence. Well, they call it USO, underwater submerged objects, but the interaction that people have seen, the unknown objects interact with water, especially during daytime sightings, that they notice these large objects in some cases have absolutely no effect on water when they hit it at full speed.
Which one of these is this time?
Okay, so it's UTC. So actually it's not 1 a.m. or 1 in the afternoon. It's actually 9:24 p.m. Okay? So it's UTC plus 1. We actually did the calculations, and we have the radar data to prove.
We have a date?
Yes, we have the date, April 26, 2013. You have some settings, camera settings. You have the aircraft's location, GPS coordinate. You have the angle and the altitude of the aircraft flying. And then you have, obviously 0 feet ocean, whatever, sea level, so it's hitting the ocean behind this object.
Is this just infrared?
Thermal imaging, yes.
Thermal, okay, because I see the IR up there. So
it is IR, infrared, thermal imaging, it's kind of the phenomenon.
So it's using both technology.
So it's kind of, actually, talk to anybody physicist, it's not different, it's the same thing. It's just
it's just one emphasizes the other.
Correct. So this isn't the only occurrence either. And in fact, we're just now starting to do historical research because really our first year of research was just on the piece of evidence. We're actually now diving into historical cases, and we found a Project Blue Book case similar to this, where they actually put a blockade of naval ships on that exact same coast because they were having infractions over a military base. And it's all in Blue Book. It's actually over here. All the testimonies, all the people, all the ships that were there, pictures of not of the objects, but of the ships that are in the water. And you've got to understand this location is northwest Puerto Rico, so it is near some natural trenches, deep water pathways, strategic locations for Navy. It's a big deal. So in that area. And again, we're going to be releasing that report soon, and free to the public.
Did anyone on the ground corroborate it by saying, yeah, I saw it?
Third testimony, not the actual object, but actually the tower claimed that they saw also visual cars.
Some of the cars.
So there's nothing. No, we have no other cooperating evidence from any other people other than the personnel that were on the plane and our witness.
They're on the plane?
They were on the plane. These are the pilots.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The pilots and technicians. There's 4 people that actually fly the aircraft. We didn't talk to them. We talked to somebody associated.
And how big was this object supposedly believed to be?
Roughly about 4 feet across.
4 foot across.
That's a small alien.
Tiny.
Seriously small. I mean, it's the crappiest invasion ever.
The most significant aspect is, and it's surprising, if in fact the object is contacting the water, that especially at or near 100 miles per hour, which we parallax, which means we figured out the angles and the flight data that we found out from the aircraft, it hit the water going very fast.
You've obviously spoken to a lot of people about this.
Yes.
Right. Now, coming away from UFO, what are they suggesting? Like, there's got to be a couple of them about, well, maybe it's a balloon, maybe it's...
The armchair quarterbacks on YouTube will say everything from birds, balloons, bags,
Where
to
look
aliens.
at the comments.
Huh?
Where are the comments on this YouTube?
Oh yeah, you can read them.
Yeah. Oh my God. I bet they're great.
I'll try to answer your question. Yes, I'll bring that up. So yes, there are some possibilities that we've considered. Obviously, we don't know how to test that because we can't go, hey Navy, what advanced drones do you have that can hit the water at 100 miles an hour and keep still, and then come out of the water? They're not going to say anything, so we can't really test it. It's still considered an unknown.
Video of like a it goes into the water, comes back out.
Oh, the Lily.
Really? Right?
Yeah.
So it is possible.
Not that fast.
Not necessarily the commercial version, but...
Well, right. Well, Lily or any conventional drone of any type hits the water going at almost approximately 100 miles per hour or over, it will turn into pieces. Very quickly. It will hit the water like it's hitting concrete.
Did the velocity ever change?
Yes. Especially when it hit the water.
The speed actually.
And when it split in half.
I'm sorry, we're watching this actually on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because she's like, did you see the birthday presents that they flashed the birthday presents?
Yeah, and there's a flashlight present on there.
Oh, that's the camera zooms in and zooms out. That's just an artifact of this zoom option on the camera system. And again, you're looking at a YouTube version. I don't know if it's been edited. That's what I got. It looks exactly like the one I got directly from the official source. So they asked questions. They didn't get any questions from Air Force Intelligence. They actually gave them a civilian phone number, which wasn't us. But
so this video, you got it from a pilot.
Sort of. I can't really talk about. I can't talk about the witness because he's
I hear they're doing X-Files in Vancouver right now.
So there's some questions.
Yeah.
I know you already.
A couple of questions. As far as the thermal imaging, and I have a couple of questions. Can you tell what the temperature of the object is?
Only a scale. The problem is that in order to get that information, we need the manual. In order to get the manual, you're going to need a customer code, which typically deals with a DoD contract. Every time we've asked for the, even a person from Army Material Command They were asked for a customer number, and they couldn't give one. They wouldn't give us the manual. So we were unable to get a hold of the actual manual. We do know that it does show a range, but it can change depending on what's in the view. So if there's like a 100-degree item at the highest degree and a 60-degree, you're only going to see that range of color. If it changes, it's going to change it. Yes, sir.
Well, the fact that the expert white box up there is box auto, it's doing auto gain correction.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to tell temperature from that. It's just black hot.
Yeah, the only time that we're able at any point in the video to guess temperature is when there was a cow. There was actually cows, right? And we found studies on temperature of bovine in the fields using thermal imagers, the average temperature of a cow, surface of a cow, right? And so we were able to do some estimates with temperature of the object at only the time when there was a cow. I know, cow, it's not being affected by the dope. What's the cow? Did the UFO then kill the cow? Hey,
I'd say
so essentially it's a guess. But again, we do mention that it's an estimate. We do cite a study, and we do see it around 100 degrees, roughly. But again, that's very limited based on the data.
How much does the water affect the performance of the camera?
It does. The camera.
Or of the image?
Oh, you mean seeing in the water? I mean,
what goes underwater?
You could probably answer that question better than I had. It doesn't see through water.
Yeah, infrared's not going to see through water.
How deep would it have to go before it disappears?
Few centimeters.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
So this is pretty shallow. Right?
So the reason why he was able to watch it, the theory or the hypothesis behind that is that there's something called, and I'm gonna butcher the name. I gotta go back into the report. I'm writing this here. There's actually a concept where you can detect bulge in water of an object displacing water. They do this with AWACS and satellites by tracking submarines, right? So the same concept is in this case where we believe that the angle of the water is changing because it's displacing. And so you're able to see temporarily a faint round spot, which isn't the actual the item, but it's the displacement that you're seeing. And so when it pops out, you actually see it pretty obvious. And when it splits, the water actually is displaced a little bit. It splashes a little bit. And you can actually see that. But yeah, you cannot see the thermal image or through water.
Only centimeters from the
problem.
Was it a choppy day or a calm day in the morning?
Well, you can see it's probably seas of about 5 to 6 feet. So, I mean, this is Agavia, so there's a pretty heavy coastline there, and a lot of depositional coastline. So there's a lot of big waves surfing, digging up there.
One thing I will say about
What's that?
One thing I will say about the, I've got no explanation for exactly what the object is, but as far as you had mentioned that the ghosting around the crosshairs, obviously we're all used to seeing industrial light and magic movies and everything is crystal clear and rated in 4K. When it comes to something like this, the fact that this is a much higher resolution version, do we know if this is even the full resolution? And I even asked because on a display like this, the crosshairs, you'd be getting a negative after image the first millisecond after it
absolutely. And we see that.
All that blur around it.
Yeah. And it was compressed. It was compressed into an ADI format directly from the device they use.
That's going to take so much of the shadow around it.
These devices aren't designed for scientific purposes, so they're just there to see things. And so when they plug in their USB drive to get the video off of it, it literally just automatically puts it into a format according to the technician.
No, just from a video standpoint, I didn't want that to add to the mystery of it. Like, there's enough mystery without the ghosting across here.
Right. Well, the reason why that came up is another individual said, well, sometimes these systems can be plugged into an onboard radar system, which can track objects or our targets. And we thought maybe at the time they didn't have any of that hooked up, but there could have been a system that was still running in the background that could have been creating a ghosting of a crosshair around the object. But it just wasn't displaying on their display. We weren't sure about
what I found interesting about this is when it split.
Yeah.
When it split up, and that I think you guys should also really isolate and try and figure out what that was. Because that, you said it's 4 feet, roughly, and it split. That's fascinating if you think about it. And then, I don't know if I think it's split before it went under the water, if I'm I'm mistaken.
Well, it went under a few times actually, and then popped out of the water for an instant, and then went back underwater. Obviously,
That was it.
So, well,
that's
the
the
projection
concept.
that it's just another one coming up on the surface.
So then-
You can clearly see the split.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's one meets the other, and
It's like the roost.
we're not sure.
Basically, I really don't.
We would
want
need
to
to
say
see we're hoping, yeah, we would need to see additional video to make any kind of comparative analysis, because well, it's interesting. I mean, there's another video from Nellis Air Force Base back in the 80s, I believe, that's very significant because it was filmed with non-base cameras. But to all the people I talked to, and these are some of the top researchers in ecology, big names, scientists, so to speak, they said this is a piece of video evidence that they haven't seen in a long time. This is a piece of significant evidence that the public hasn't had possession of, and that they've all witnessed while they were in duty or when they used to work for different research organizations, DoD or military, where they've seen things like this or as significant, but none of it's ever been released to the public. And this is the first one that made it to the public. It's this significant.
Very interesting with it's videos like this that make me question as far as like what type of material could this thing be made out of, as far as if it hits the water like that,
Yeah,
and shatter or slow down, you know, is this even a solid, you know, type of material? Because, you know, I know some of the pieces out there are, you know, are some UFOs, USOs, you know, interdimensional, you know, do they have the same physical qualities that, you know, these, you know, the solid surfaces around us have? So I think this is great evidence as far as trying to learn more about, you know, these things that we don't understand, what other types of materials and, you know, energy formations are out there. You know, is it natural or being controlled by other intelligent beings?
And it's a big mystery still, even with this piece of evidence, because we don't have it, we can't touch it, we can't sit there and kick the tires and see what it does. So I know somebody's whistling at me back here, so.
Well, I have actually two things. First, I have a feeling that you were tracking it.
Well, we were tracking.
Well, whoever was tracking it. Because if you're watching a video, you see it go and then slow down, and then go and slow down, so the camera is continuously panning.
You make a good point, but if you're right, Brooke, that movement is actually because the camera is readjusting, and the aircraft filming it is actually circling and is actually moving pretty quickly. So you're getting a kind of an adjustment of the camera. But the significant thing is the fact that, you know, from the track of the aircraft, the angle that the camera is pointed at, we actually have a track of the object coming over the land from the north, turning over the airfield, and then turning back towards the ocean. And as this plane is making its orbit around the object.
And then the other thing too about splitting part, would it be like a visual line where you're only seeing one side of the plane versus like on top of it actually have been two sections? You know what I'm saying? A visual where then that would split apart and that has stuff.
It's extremely limited on what we could see. Yeah, it could be. And that was one of the hypotheses that it was actually an object of two parts. But we're just not sure. We can't make enough out of that video.
Now, was this also tracked on radar?
The object was not tracked on radar. The air only because it was probably below. It was below 200 feet. Yeah. And it was below 200 feet, and the object was actually pretty small, so it's going to be very difficult to discern between ground color and other issues. We did track, however, an unknown or something that experts thought were not flutter or sound, you know, noise from other radar systems, was tracked out in the same area it returned to. We were getting hits for about an hour or so prior to the event. And it was just, it kept pointing up in this one area, kind of like an elongated area, and it just kept popping up in different locations randomly. And we believe that the tower was actually seeing the lights out there at the time, and then notified, or vice versa, the pilot saw it with confirmed by the tower visually. So this is not a radar tower. It's only visual radar and radio. So they were using another system off base to track radar systems.
We're stumped. Honestly, we believe this is a UFO because, once again, it's unidentified flying object, and we've been discussing. It's going 100 miles an hour. Roughly. If it was a drone, I agree with you, upon impact of water, it would have disintegrated. So it has to be something else, and it's only 4 feet. I keep saying, unless it's a superhero that we don't know about.
Iron Man. Iron Man's helmet.
So.
Thank you. No, you yours? You have yours? Yeah. Oh, you don't have yours? Oh, she's saying your evidence. Have evidence. Whatever. Yeah, that's why I came here to see. Do you have any others? Any other evidence that you want to share? Is there other pieces that the other groups put up here? There's all their stuff. Oh, we are. Okay, that's the evidence roundtable, folks.
Ken Stricker to the front of the class, please. I need to talk to you for a second. We're also now having Tech Roundtable, hosted by Sean Porter and friends. So stick around for that. It's going to be fascinating.